This week's episode of Hak5 is brought to you by GoDaddy.com, Beck's Beer, Crysis Warhead, and Paul the Camera Guy action figure, now with over a dozen attachments and accessories.
Thank you. All right, that's enough.
Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of Hak5. I'm Matt Lestock.
Darren Kitchen.
For those of you who haven't seen the show before, we are a technology-based show focused on everything from homebrew gaming, white hat and black hat hacking, and systems administration. Anything you could basically think of, we encompass everything in the whole IT umbrella action.
We call it Technolust.
Technolust, yeah.
There you go. We got a great show for you guys tonight. We are talking to Chris Gerling. He's back from Virginia Beach. He's going to be telling us about
reverse engineering part 2. We're going to go in and actually do some hands-on and get some goodness out of that. So
I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. So we did the theory last week, and now it's time to
the application.
Get into that crack me. And Shannon, you're going nostalgic over there?
I am a little bit old school with the bulletin board systems and Lord.
Yeah, we're not talking religion here. We're talking about a little red dragon that I'm a little aware of. So we'll get to that a little later. But first, I'm going to head over and talk to Chris about cracking some crack me's.
All right, have fun with that.
I will.
All right.
Okay. Hey, what's up,
Welcome
Chris?
to my set.
I know. You don't need to shake my hand. I know you, dude. Seriously, you're here every week. It's totally cool. So we're back, and everybody that remembers from last week, we went over a lot of the theory about reverse engineering. So if you just dived into the middle, you might want to go back and see that if you haven't.
Yeah, we're going to go in and actually use one of the tools that I talked about last week, NetReflector, and we're going to go and use a little Python and actually make an application do something that it wasn't really designed to do.
You're tickling my Technolist already. So let's get right down into it. We have an application. You told me earlier this is a legal application that we're going to be cracking?
Yeah, they're called crack me's, and I talked about them a long time ago on Season 3. And basically, Chris Gates from Learn Security Online actually makes these and distributes them for people to practice on, so they don't have to go and crack something that might have a a license.
Like a copyright or something.
So rather than copyright.
so if you're bored and you want to crack something, rather than going out and finding your latest favorite game and trying to play with that, you might want to try with something legal first to hone your skills.
Exactly.
And you recommend going over to Chris Gates' site at learnsecurityonline.com.
Yes.
Sweet. And you can pick up these crack me's.
He's up to number 4 now, I think.
So let's take a look at this crack me. What does it look like?
All right. This is when you open the crackme.exe, it comes up with a little GUI here, and I can tell right away that this icon it was probably made in .NET.
Okay. It's called Form 1. We got 4 buttons here. What do they do?
So Tone 1, Tone 2, and Tone 3. We're trying to make them match. It says the tones don't match.
Okay.
When we make the tones match, it's going to come up with something to say we won the contest or whatever.
So we have to go open sesame, and then all of a sudden the aliens come down and abduct us.
Just a disclaimer, the contest has already been won and everything. This is, so we're not spoiling anything here, but I think we'll do number 4 in a future date.
Sounds good.
So the tones don't match.
So the first thing, you said that the first thing you notice right off the bat with this is that it's written in .NET, and that you figured out just by the icon?
Just by the default GUI when you make a .NET application using Microsoft's tools is it just gives you a default icon of, you can zoom in and
right there. Okay, cool.
So that's just the default GUI that it kind of gives you to play with, instead of having to design your own Microsoft.
So last week you were telling me that there's different disassemblers for different types of applications. We've identified this one as a .NET one. So rather than using like W32 disassembler, DASM, or IDA Pro, we're going to be using
Redgate's .NET Reflector.
Sweet. Yep. So that will uncompile disassemble our .NET code. Let's take a look.
Exactly. So right away what I notice is when I open it up in here, typically with .NET applications, when you open it, it's very apparent as to what's going on. Here things are kind of, when I close this right away, the only thing that really stands out is this nets thing, N-E-T-Z.
Okay, so we can see here we've got nets right under our references. What is NETZ?
Well, let me zoom back out of here. And I actually saved this Google search just to show, and I'll zoom in on this. I Googled it. It's a Net Executables Compressor and Packer. So what it does is it compresses an EXE within an EXE.
So this is the same kind of the same kind of principle, same kind of method that's used by like people in the cracking scene, people in maybe some of the shadier sides of the web that use to disguise their applications within other applications, so that, say for instance, heuristics from a popular antivirus software
so it
wouldn't pick this up. Okay, and that's free to use, so we can go and using this, we can open up the executable inside this executable.
So what we do is we go in, and if you open up the resources here, we can see zip.dll right here.
Yeah, let's take a look at that.
Oop, there we go. So zip.dll, that means there's some kind of zip action going on, compressing. That's where you see it's going on. And this is the actual, this ACC stuff, this is the actual resource that it's compressing. This is the executable file.
Okay.
So you can tell it's a little bit smaller. This is a standard byte size, and this is a different byte size. So that means it's,
okay,
this is the actual thing.
So the actual package is 7,499 bytes. We see that over there on the right. And we're going to use the zip.dll to extract it so we can see what's inside of that.
And we don't even have to actually use that. The .NET Reflector will do it for you. You just right-click, Save As, and I named it zip.zip.
Okay, so we've already got saved out. So now we've got, so it's a zip file. Great, we can just extract it like
but it's
with
not
WinRAR.
No, it's not exactly a zip file. You can't open it with WinRAR or WinZip. It's a special, it's a compressed file, but it's not compressed within the file standards of those formats.
So it's not using ArcZip, RAR, any of those standards.
Nope.
So that's where that NetZ comes into play, right?
Yes.
All right.
So what we do is, since it was used, packaged with that, there is a Python script, and I have it open right here really quick. This is, and we'll have this in the show notes and everything.
Great. So this is the NetZ, the zlib library.
This is, you use the zlib library in Python, and what we do is, we'll zoom right in on that. And so just so you can see what we're doing here.
Okay, so we've got our Python open, and we're going to go ahead and give it this code.
Yep.
And when we're done with this, I'm looking at the, let's see, fzip open zipped.zip, and then funzip.
And this is what we're going to name it when we extract it.
And then it just does the function,
and
the compress and uncompress, and then it, okay,
and just
cool.
writes the file.
It's a fair bit of decent Python there.
When I hit enter here, it's just going to do it for me.
Saves it out.
Yep. So what we do now is when and I already have it open in any other net reflector here.
So we've got the executable that was inside that first executable extracted using the NetZ.
This is what it would look like original. I added it 2 in this one.
Great. So we've got a separate exe, and now we can open that again in another instance of .NET Reflector.
Exactly. When we open that, and let me just minimize this really quick. Now you see there's Form 1, Form 2, you have your resources, everything looks kind of, oh, there we go.
Yeah, cool.
Everything looks nice. It doesn't look like that net stuff from before. So now we'll go in really quick, open up Form 1, and what
that was the name of the application on the title bar.
Exactly. And what I found is with, when you go down here to click Object, and we'll zoom in
there's a couple of different objects in here.
Yeah, there's Objects, and then we'll go right over to here, console beep, and it has 2 numbers.
Console.beep. 300, 500. Now I suspect, just listening to these tones, maybe a little bit of my past freak stuff is coming in here, but it sounds a lot like DTMF or dual tone multi-frequency. I may be completely wrong, but those 2 values look like they might be frequency values that come together to make a segment that's going to be awesome.
They do. And what we notice here is there's 300 and a 500. And if I zoom out really quick and I go to tone 2, we notice that the 500 doesn't change.
Okay, so we've always got a different number, and our second tone in our DTMF is 500.
Tone. Yeah, the second tone is always 500.
Okay, and that's what's causing the problem because the program is expecting it to be slightly different.
Exactly.
Great, so we've identified where our problem is here in our packaged code inside of the code. Now, how are we going to change that?
Okay, what we do is we break these out into hex values, and I have those written right here.
Okay, so 600 in hex equals
58020000 is what I broke it out to, and we'll have that in the we'll have all.
And you've got some resources in your blog with your article about how to convert those values into hex for everybody that doesn't just read.
Yeah,
hex.
I just use a standard hex calculator. You can just find them anywhere online. Yep.
Okay. So what do we do now? So we've say like you've gone through each of these objects here and found we've got our 300, our 600, whatever the tone 3 one was, and we've converted those over to hex. How are we going to then change that to what they need to be inside that program?
Good question. We use a Hex Editor.
Okay.
And, one of the Hex Editors that I came across that I liked is a plugin for Notepad++, which I already had installed.
There you go.
So, great program. So what we did is...
so we're looking at it right here.
Yep, and this is actually the kind of the finished product. I didn't want to go through and do a whole lot of X editing, and so.
So this is the program that was within the program. That executable opened up in a Hex Editor.
Exactly.
And we've done a search for 2C0100.
Actually, we did a search for the FA0000, which was the old wrong value, and then I already converted them over.
Okay, so before it was 250, what it needed to be was 300. So you just opened it in the Hex Editor and found that hex value, which was previously FA0000.
Which was half of the 500, basically.
Oh, I see what he's doing there. So how many tries did it take you? I mean, did you know what the tones were supposed to be?
I kind of knew what they were supposed to be. I also used a really helpful guide from someone who solved the puzzle.
Oh,
well, which helped for the Python
when you
script.
get the strategy guide, are you really playing the game, or are you just following the
It helped with the Python
directions?
script. I had a good idea of what was going on.
I hear you.
With the Python,
no, really
not
cool.
so much.
No, I like all of the stuff that we've done to get here. Leaves you with a lot of knowledge.
Yeah,
here.
there's a lot of things you have to do to actually get into here and do it.
Well, yeah, you got to have to learn a little bit of Python, or at least
which I had to do.
Awesome. Well, everybody should know a little bit of Python.
They should. So what we did was we changed the 250 to the 300 here. So and I'll zoom in so you can see the 2C01.
Okay. So once you change those values, you just save it out in the Hex Editor as a separate program. So let's go ahead and see that program.
All right. The separate program I already have open here. And it looks the same as the original one. It doesn't even, if you wanted to, you could have changed the form.
Well, sure. I mean, it was your program at that point. You owned it totally.
You can change the GUI around if you want to, and do whatever you want. So with the finished program.
And you've unlocked it.
And
Great.
Email Chris at Learn Security. Well, don't email him.
Okay. Well,
this
you're a little late. If you've solved this, it's already been solved. But there's more contests going all the time at LearnSecurityOnline.com.
Exactly.
So if this is totally your cup of tea, head over there, pick up the latest Crack Me, and see if you can win. What are the prizes?
Usually books. Security type books. Yeah.
Awesome. And if you guys are totally interested in this type of content and want to hear more, also I know that we've just gone over the high level of the practice here, but if there's more specific stuff that you want us to hone in on some of these segments, definitely hit us up, feedback@hak5.org. We'll put together a segment just for you guys, or do a follow-up Q&A type thing on what you guys thought. So I guess at this point, Chris, awesome job. And I can't wait for next week, because you're back here next week doing another little piece of goodness with viruses.
Lots of viruses.
But at this point, I think it's time to head over to Shannon and see what's going on with this week's trivia.
This week's trivia is: the Kurt Weill opera Der Jasager was first performed in Berlin, Germany in 1930. The final revision of the opera included what companion piece? If you're the first one to answer this right on our forum thread for this trivia question, we will send you a PM asking for your address and your name, and we will send you these nifty, brand new Hak5 stickers. I know, they're beautiful. We just got them in the mail. Yeah. So, as you guys know, GoDaddy is our sponsor for the trivia. You can make this huge impact online with GoDaddy.com. You can have a .com as low as $1.99 with world-class hosting, fast and easy website builders, and much, much more. Plus, if you enter code HAK530, you can save $5 off any order of $30 or more. Some restrictions apply. See the website for detail and get your piece of the internet at GoDaddy.com. Next, we're going to talk to Darren about some yummy, spiffy pineapple stuff, but first we're going to take a break, and that's it.
Hey kids, why play with yourself when you could play with me, Paul the Camera Guy Action Figures? That's right, I'm so fucking badass they made an action figure out of me. I'm available with over a dozen attachments and accessories, including tripods, lights, cameras, an HD video mixers, 2 cigars, a bottle of vodka, and kung fu grip. Don't wait, nag your parents now. You won't be cool until you've played with me, Paul the Camera Guy Action Figure. Available in PAL and NTSC at paulthecameraguy.com. Order today.
So last week, you guys may have remembered that Darren was at a coffee shop with some messed up kind of pineapple looking thing. Well, today he's back talking about Jasager, and we're actually going to crack that double-decker pineapple open and see what actually makes it tick. Darren, what do we got today?
Well, we're actually going to be building our own Jasager, and I guess before I get to that, I really quick need to make an apology for mein deutsche Freunde. Es tut mir leid. Ich weiß jetzt, es ist der Jasager, nicht der Jasager. Ich bin eine kleine Amerikaner und danke für die Becks. Es ist wunderbar. So, aside from that,
Yankee.
I know. I learned German in in high school, so it's
Right.
not the greatest, and I can't believe it took me that long to realize. Oh, it's Jasager,
I'm
as in
saying it
ja,
all wrong.
as in yes.
Very nice.
Yes man. So this guy is the yes man. Let me tell you what I'm talking about here. Before I even show you the interface, I've got my wireless network connections, and I know I'm doing this in Windows here. You can do it in your favorite version of Linux. I'm just going to do it real quick here because it's easy. This is my my wireless connection thing, and it's showing me that there are, 4 access points available to me. Well, that's because this machine is safe right now. Okay, this machine, not so much with the getting owned, but I want to show you what this guy really does on this machine. So I've got my EPC here fired up in Windows, and he's my target, my noob, if you will.
So I'm the noob.
You're the noob.
Okay. So let's go ahead and see
And
what
I've
we've got
fired
here.
up this Jasager, and you just sat down at your new EPC at the coffee shop, wherever, and you've decided you want to get on some internets. So what is your, oh, hey, look at that.
Wow.
Look at all those access
Look
points.
at all these access
Oh,
points.
that's a ton of access points.
And they're all full.
Look, hey, go up to the top. Look at, oh, wow, hey, very top, very top. Does that say Prono? Oh yeah, that's Prono Bozo's wireless network. I'm totally calling him out here. The guy that does our music, you know him from the theme song. I was just up in Canada hanging out with him a couple weeks ago. Hopped on his wireless network. Now my machine, my Windows machine, just remembers that wireless network. It's like, oh yeah, next time since I remember Prono Bozo, next time I'm around Prono's network, just go ahead and connect, right? So that's what this guy has done. The little fawn router here with Jasager and Karma, the guy that we stuffed inside the pineapple, is picking up all of those requests in the air, those probes, and saying, that's totally me. So that's why we have that huge list of available access points.
Even though they're not actually around,
yeah.
this guy is saying, hey, I'm Prono. Hey, I'm
And that machine
everything.
says, oh, Pronobuzz, I remember you, automatically connects, and we're like, woo, welcome to my network.
Yeah.
Things just got interesting.
So how do we actually make this thing work?
Sure. Well, we've built this on a fawn router. An awesome guy by the name of Robin Wood has put a lot of time into building mad Wi-Fi drivers for the fawn so that we can run Karma. And that's the back end thing that makes all of those access points show up. And then what he's done is taken it a step further and built an interface, a beautiful AJAX-y interface, mind you. Now, keep in mind, all of this is in early beta, okay? So what we see here, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the very top of it, is our status controls. So when we first fire this up, we see, now, normally when you first fire this up, everything isn't on by default. So this thing isn't lethal right out of the box. You still have to connect to it. You just do that by running a Cat5 cable from your fawn router here into your machine, or if you want to be a little bit later on, you can make yourself a little access point in there that's actually safe, so that you can leave this inside your pineapple and go and connect to it that way.
Right.
I had this guy in the pineapple connected with my battery, which is down on the floor there charging, and I'll show you. I've got links to that in my show notes talking about battery packs and ways to power this guy remotely.
Okay.
Okay. So you don't need a wall jack everywhere you go to own people.
Okay.
So either over the Ethernet or the wireless, you get to this, and the first thing you see is a little wizard that helps you set up the interface. I've already got that done here, and let me show you what's going on here. So we've got interface is currently up. Okay. We've got Karma is currently on. That means that those requests, those probes are getting sniffed by this thing and reported back as, yes, that's me. Now we've got a blacklist and whitelist feature here. And what that basically means is, you see here where it says add SSID to the list, we can go ahead and put in there Hak5. So I can say, all right, I want to own all of the wireless in this area, but all the cool kids on Hak5 SSID, they're okay. We can let them still connect. I'm not trying to intercept those at all. So you go ahead and add that to your whitelist. You can change it. You can do blacklisting or whitelisting. Right now, you have to set them up every time.
Right.
It's not too big of a deal.
Like you said, early beta.
Early beta, and this is really the early version of the interface. I mean, I've seen it change with a couple of revisions, and I'm sure it will continue to change.
Okay.
Now, what happens down here is the really fun part. Connected clients. What happens is, as soon as you turn this on, other machines in the area, as they do, try to connect to their access points that they normally
they know of.
that they know of, right? And what we see here are the MAC addresses of these noobs, if you will. So you got this MAC address here and this MAC address here, and guess what? They've seen the fawn, and the fawn said yes, and they became happy, and we got really excited because now we can do fun stuff. So let me show you the cool fun stuff, right? So down here we've got we've just got a drop down, and right now the functionality that's built into these drop downs are to add the SSID to the list or to kick the MAC address off of their Jasager and have no more fun with them. So as you can see, it's all of the underlying structure is there. It's ready to be improved on,
right.
And it's trivial to add these things. All of this is just it's running in Ruby.
Right.
So there's Ruby on the fawn, and so it's extensible. You just go into the Ruby code and add all of your scripts. So there's a whole bunch of what are they called? Shell scripts.
Okay.
That do different things. So there's and that's where you expand upon it. So I think that's a whole different topic altogether. I'm going to be talking to Robin Wood at TorCon, September 26th through the 28th. So whatever the show is after that, we should have an interview with him and talk about more the future of the development of this guy.
Okay.
So, but right now, we just want to get the their Jasager up and running.
So that it's accepting noobs.
And then we can add some more fun payloads to it a little later.
Right.
Okay. So, like I said, this is all running on the fawn. He told me that he just got the MAD Wi-Fi drivers running on the EPC. So
you could actually turn this into Karma.
EPC into a little Karma guy.
Their Jasager.
Their Jasager. In fact, a Their Jasager, the Jasager is really just a front end that makes all of this easy. It's an Ajax interface. Like I showed you with those clients connecting place, really, these guys, this just dynamically updates so that, as the people join, you can start having fun with it. You just sit back and you relax and you watch. You get your little log area here where you can see what's going on. And the underlying part of it is Karma. And Karma, I should mention, if you're using an EPC, you want to check out Backtrack 3 because it's built in.
Right.
And head over to remoteexploit.org, grab yourself a copy of that because, so if you don't have a fawn router, you can still do this with an EPC, or you can still do it with anything else where you can set up MAD Wi-Fi, but it's just a lot more difficult.
All right, Darren. Well, you've given them a great bit of info. We should probably give the kids a chance to do some homework. Yes, we're actually giving you homework on the show, but I mean, the amount of info here is just going to take too long, so we're going to have to break it up into a couple other segments. So you've got some time to go get some fawns, follow along. You've got instructions on how to do this.
Yeah, if you've got a fawn, or if you're getting fawn and you want to get the turkey in the oven, reference episode 3x07 or 3x08. I've got a link in the show notes to where you can go ahead and unlock this guy, get the new version of OpenWRT on here. That's what you're going to need to get Jasager running, and and then I'll continue this on. But this is a lot of information. I'm glad I could demo it to you here and show you exactly what it does. So next time we can pop it in the oven, and then after that that takes a long time to bake.
Yeah.
After that we'll extend on it.
Next week you've got another segment, and then after that you've got Robin Wood at TorCon. Remember to follow Hak5 on Twitter because Shannon and Darren are actually going to TorCon in San Diego, so you can follow along. And I think you guys are giving away some stickers and stuff like that.
And all sorts of fun stuff.
So TorCon is going to talk with Robin Wood, and then we're going to come back and we're going to dive right back in and baste the turkey and then eat it up. So now we've got LAN party with Shannon.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we're having a LAN party. It's coming up this Saturday, September 20th, and we are playing Counter-Strike Source. Get ready to get owned. All right, I'm just kidding. Anyway, you can play along with us at game.hak5.org, but if you're not really feeling like playing the games on Saturday, you can definitely check us out. We're going to be doing a live webcam streaming all day because we're going to be filming the next couple of episodes, and you can follow us at hak5.org. And as you guys know, our sponsor is Crysis Warhead. Yeah! Matt, tell us about it.
Thanks, Shannon. Yeah, I played Crysis myself, and as soon as I heard that Crysis Warhead was going to be coming out, I I already have my copy pre-ordered. Crysis Warhead actually comes out the 18th of September. Behind us here we have the demo playing. Crysis Warhead basically takes place in a parallel timeline of Crysis. The other dude that got dropped on the other side of the island, yeah, you're him. So it's faster, it's more bloody, it's more intense. It's no longer a game about survival, it's about domination, which is something, you know, we know here about at
I like
Hak5.
that kind of stuff. I like the way that it's like, you know, from another perspective. So if you played Half-Life and remember Blue Shift and all those, kind of the same, but they've I mean, if like my rig will run this, even though it didn't run Crysis so well. I mean, I've upgraded way since.
Right.
But they're telling me that it's like way tweaked.
They optimized the CryEngine 2, which is the engine that powers Crysis and Crysis Warhead, so that you can play at better settings on, you know, maybe a not next-gen rig. But, so yeah, Crysis Warhead comes out September 18th. Guys, I highly encourage you to go buy it because I had a blast playing Crysis. So, you know, and after all, they're our sponsor, and we want to thank them for sponsoring the show. So now
we're going to kick it back to Shannon because she knows what's coming up.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I want to play that game so bad now that I saw that trailer. Holy crap. Yeah, where was I? Oh yeah, so I'm going to be talking about some bulletin board systems, some lore in a little bit, but first, Matt is going to tell us how to visually configure your Linux firewall easily. Over to you.
Hey guys, I'm here to show you a GUI for your Linux IPTables firewalls, Cisco PIX firewalls, anything that may need IPTables or anything of the sort that you usually have to do manually, we can now do in a fresh, awesome GUI.
Okay.
The website of the product that we're actually going to be talking about is Firewall Builder. It's fwbuilder.org. They have packages for Windows, Mac, and as well as Linux.
Well, now what's the thing with that? The Linux ones are free, and the
the Linux one is free. The Mac and Windows clients both require you to register after 30 days, and I think it's like $79.99 for that. So it behooves you to
use Linux.
Set up a Ubuntu package for that. But we're going to go ahead and dive right into the application here.
Okay.
We've already got it installed, and we're going to create a new profile, a new object file. And basically, this is just going to be random text.
Okay, so this is just a container to put your firewall rules
right,
in
exactly.
and push them out.
So those of you who have used enterprise applications for monitoring, or excuse me, managing firewalls
like
before,
net screens, PIXs, stuff like that. Okay.
You'll notice this pretty easily. We're going to go ahead and create a new firewall. We're going to name it Matt's Firewall. It's going to be an IPTables-based firewall that's going to be installed on a Linksys with SpaceSoft firmware on it.
Okay.
We're going to use a standard template library. And there's actually a template already built in here for Linksys firewalls.
Oh, okay, yeah, let's use that.
So now we've got the firewall. Listed here, we can actually go into the policies.
And we can change them however we want to.
We've changed, list exactly what is here. You see ping reply, time exceeded, all that kind of stuff. What we're going to do is real quick, we're going to go ahead and add a rule. Okay. We're going to block AOL.
Blocking AOL, good choice.
Exactly. So the great thing about this is the entire interface is drag and drop.
Oh, that's really nice.
We're going to go from source, actually we're going to go from source. It's going to be
outside?
It's going to be
AOL?
outside
Okay.
or inside. So we want it to be, there we go. We're going to go objects, address ranges, or actually, excuse me, networks. And we're going to go with our network, which is going to be...
Okay, so it's coming from inside, trying to get out. Okay.
Right.
So if somebody has like AOL or AIM installed, it's going to...
Exactly.
Okay.
So we drag that to the source. The destination is going to be any. And the service, we can go here. There's actually pre-populated services already. Now you can define your own services if you like. We're going to go ahead and select TCP, and we're going to go ahead here and select AOL.
Oh, they have AOL in there already.
We're just going to drag that in there. Interface all,
okay.
And the action is going to be block.
All right.
So now that we've gone ahead and modified this rule here, what we're actually going to do is we're going to compile it.
We have to build that, okay.
We got to build it to make sure that there's no issues with the actual rules and no conflictions, and that we're not going to actually brick whatever box that we're
this just
installing.
does a sanity check on all the rules and make sure they're actually going to work before you... Okay.
Right.
Cool.
So you're not uploading something that's going to bork your box.
Gotcha.
So we're going to go ahead and click Next, and we're going to save it.
Okay, it doesn't really matter what we save it as.
Doesn't matter what we're going to save it as. and coming down here, and look at that, it now says success.
Great success.
So we click finish, and now we're actually going to go ahead and build, install
the rules. Okay.
We can install the rules directly from this interface, which is a great thing because you don't have to log into this and then that and figure out how to do it. So you enter
it just pushes it out to wherever you're,
Right, your username, your passphrase, and then the actual destination. And if we actually had a Spacesoft router in here, it would actually upload and install those rules for us. And boom, we've got AOL disabled on our Linksys router.
There we go.
So the great thing is GUI management, firewall filters and policies.
Drag and drop.
Drag and drop. We love drag and drop. Anything that makes a sysadmin's life a lot easier, we're all for. But right now, we're going to go ahead and check out this week's LAN party. And to get us more info on that is Shannon. The LAN party. Excuse me. No, wait.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. We'll just take it from here. We're actually talking a little bit nostalgia here.
Yes, very nostalgic. I'm going to take you back to the 80s and the 90s, before the interwebs. It was really cool with the bulletin board system.
I'm a child of that generation, and I grew up on bulletin board systems. Back before you dialed into AOL to get online, or dialed into Prodigy, or your local ISP, you would dial into these bulletin board systems, which were basically like a hobbyist with a computer and a modem, and they would run a system that the community could dial into and play games and message. And so we're running one on Hak5.
Yes, we are. I was never into this when I was little, but I got into it a few months ago. Kind of disappeared for a while, but we're bringing it back. So I'm going to show you how to log in real quick. It's very easy. You just go to Start, Run, type in CMD, and it takes you to the command window. And you type in telnet space bbs.hak5.org. Then it asks you.
And of course, that's for more than just Windows. The same command will get you there on a Linux machine, on a Mac, on any of that stuff.
Ha! Nice. All right. So we get into the Hak5 telnet right here. And it's super simple to get to Lord, which is Legend of the Red Dragon, our little video game that we like to play on there.
I'm so stoked about this because door games are really one of the things that made bulletin board systems so much fun. So I mean, in addition to the chat rooms that they may have, it's a multi-node bulletin board, meaning multiple modems on the server you're dialing, or the message boards, or the file libraries where maybe there's ratios. I mean, it's really the predecessors to common day fservs or stuff like that. But the door games were where it's at least for me. So I played a lot of these, and one that I definitely fell in love with back in the day, and that we've brought back, Legend of the Red Dragon. So go ahead and tell us about this.
All right, so you get to this screen, you press X to go to external programs, 2 for games, and you're at the Lord right there. It loads the realm, and then you're in. You can play the game. It's basically an RPG, but very, very old school. There's some ASCII art in there, and you can fight the woodland creatures. It's all typing. It's a lot of fun. I suggest it to anybody who's in our community that really wants to get involved. We're going to be in here playing every day, and you should too.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you only can play so many moves every single day. So it's one of the things where you just got to log in and get your 10 minutes, 5 minutes of gameplay in, so that you're leveling up along with everybody else. And the objective, which I've sadly never reached in all the years of playing Lord, is to, of course, slay the Red Dragon and save all of the people in the village from that thing that's been terrorizing the children. By basically leveling up and killing creatures in the woods and killing. There's PvP. It's a PvP server. You can kill other people. Yep. Steal their loot.
Don't sleep in the fields out there. You'll definitely get killed if you just sleep there instead of the hotel.
Shannon, thanks so much. And
thank you.
I will be seeing you in Legend of the Red Dragon. I'm going to take the star with me.
Oh, jerk.
Hey everybody, that just about wraps up this episode of Hak5. We want to thank all of you for tuning in. And also reminding you to check out the forums at forums.hak5.org. Sign up, interact, community's great.
Check out the show notes too.
The show notes.
You can find Chris's article all about the crack knees at his blog at chrisgerling.com. And I see you've got something funky going on over there.
I've got
right over on the other set.
There it is. I've got Beck's Oktoberfest. We want to thank Beck's for sponsoring this episode of Hak5.
And you got a little caddy there.
I've got a beer stein that Beck's actually sent us. They sent it to us. You can go ahead and get your own beer stein. Look, it just comes right off.
And you put any beer, any Beck's.
Amazing.
Check out the Oktoberfest. Tastes really good.
Sign up at beckskeyclub.com, and they want to give you a chance to win a trip to Germany for their Oktoberfest celebration this fall. Darren, tell us about that action.
Definitely. I mean, if you haven't been to Germany, you haven't lived. I wish I have. I mean, if I was eligible for this contest, I would be so on it. They got a contest going where you and your friend can head to Germany 7 nights. They take care of your hotel and your air travel, and you can head over to Germany and check out the nightlife of Berlin, head down the Rhine River, go down to Munich. I mean, there's the people, the food, everything there is super freaking sweet. And
$3,000.
$3,000 cash. So, there you go. Yeah, I mean, check out some raves. They've got awesome, I mean, gosh, my sister was there as a foreign exchange student. Ich spreche Deutsch ist nicht so gut, but I mean, I've always wanted to go to Germany. And so you should definitely check it out. Go over to becksbeer.com, and that's where you can sign up for this contest. Or if you want, you can also sign up by texting in the US, I believe. Text Germany to it's text Germany to 2337, which translates to beers.
Okay, yeah.
So text Germany to beers, and the contest is going on from September 8th, I believe, to the December 31st, and awesome opportunity.
Yeah.
So check it out.
We wish we could sign up, but we can't.
We're not allowed to.
We're not
allowed. How it is.
So I'm just gonna keep drinking my beer.
So becksbeer.com for that. Also, next week, tune in because we have a lot of fun, zany, kind of weird stuff going on. I'm taking a cardboard box and some USB and turning it into a little Minority Report type touchscreen interface for your computer. That'll be fun. Chris Gerling is back. He's got a zoo, a complete zoo of viruses in a VM that we're going to be taking a look at, seeing how they really tick. And Shannon is taking a look at the cool thing, PhotoSynth, that's going to allow you to do a 3D mock-up of an area with a lot of photographs. We've got a big thing of the Hak5 set, so you can pan around and see what the Hak5 set's really like. It's totally crazy. So, yeah, that's it.
With that, we want to thank you guys for tuning in, and hope you guys tune in next week. And we're reminding you to trust your technolust. See ya.
And we're going to be baking this turkey and then extending on it, putting a whole bunch of stuffing in there.
Good job, Darren.
I'm getting it. Oh, come on. I'll get it eventually.
So on the website here, we can see that we've got...
That's the pizza.
Okay.
Is it my turn
She was
now?
in La La Land while
I
we
think
were
she-
finishing up.
Today, we're going to be talking about a great Google of shit. I have no idea where
It's on
I'm
the
actually
board.
going to say. My name's Matt Lestock.
I'm Darren Kitchen.
For those of you who haven't seen the show before, we are focused from...
You let one rip.
I did.
What?
Busted.
I was just like, la, la, la.
She's like, wait.
Please don't waft it my way. Just keep it over there.